Hello, everyone. Welcome to round number one. This is the pseudo round number one. If you were here earlier when you saw some very riveting base fossil gameplay. But right now we've got Mike on the right playing Alakazam, Seth on the left playing Pult Noir. Seth going first, getting that Latias in the active and a Buddy Buddy Poffin. Can't ask for much.
No, that's pretty much what you want. You want to get Badoos down. You want to get Dreepies down. Looking through both of these lists, it's a lot of the same from Mike. Mike was our runner-up last week at weeklies, so we're putting him on stream first round here. And Seth has been a little bit absent from the weeklies here at Impact, so we saw him back here. It was like perfect opportunity to have him on stream.
Yeah, and Mike has been playing Alakazam for a really long time. Seth is kind of like all over the place for what he plays. You never know what he's going to bring. I know he was on Inzorark for a little bit. He was on Dragapult Dusknoir, as we see here. We've seen him play Gardevoir before, Goldengo before. It's kind of like a mixed bag. You never know quite what he's going to bring. But Mike's got old reliable tonight, and we see Mike here starting that Dunsparce, getting an Abra down, and getting a Dawn. Mike's off to a hot start.
Yep, exactly. And Mike is going to really rely in this Dragapult matchup with his 3 battle cages that he runs in his deck. And with Seth running, I believe I saw only 2 jamming tower, Mike has the favor in the Stadium War. And those battle cages are going to be huge for kind of silencing those Dusclopses and that Phantom Dive extra damage going around.
Yeah, and I like seeing Mike here going in, just immediately grabbing the Fan Rotom, grabbing a Dunsparce for next turn, grabbing an Alakazam just in case he hits the rare candy. And we're going to see that Fan Call ability here, which states that you can go into your deck on the first turn and grab 3 colorless Pokemon under 100 HP. So we're going to see basically all Dunsparces grabbed from Mike. Every once in a blue moon, he'll grab a second Fan Rotom. A is a backup attacker, and B just that way he hits 3 targets to thin out his deck. The Fan Rotom doesn't say that you have to put him on your bench, so you go into your hand, but a lot of these times you just see them slam immediately down to the bench just because why not?
Yeah, well, and you getting an extra card, even if you don't play it, having it in your hand, that powers up Alakazam's powerful hand attack. So that's, it's synergizes really well.
Yeah, and we see Mike here going in with the double Fan Rotom like we talked about. We're currently missing the stadium for the Assault Landing, unfortunately. So it looks like he's just going to attach and pass it over to Seth. I don't dislike the attachment, though. There's very little pressure from Mike on turn 1.
Absolutely.
So you're not really expecting the Fan Rotom to go down. And if it does go down, it just powers up your Wondrous Patches. So it's not that big of a deal.
That too, and it also helps because, say, next turn you get the rare candy and then you can attack with Alakazam. You already have energy attached to retreat.
Yep.
So it's once again another good heads up play from Mike. This is just showing that he's been playing Alakazam a lot.
Yeah, and I know talking to him in the Discord and talking to him on other things, he plans on playing Alakazam for a while. I think he even talked about doing maybe like some post-rotation testing with Alakazam too. It doesn't really lose much at rotation. It loses Nest Ball, which is kind of unfortunate for the Pheasantipede, but you get Pokepad, which lets you search your deck for any non-rule box Pokemon, which goes perfectly with Alakazam. And then it doesn't really lose anything else.
Yeah, it's a lot. It's a much newer deck, so having all of those pieces to help you out is super good. It's not going away anytime soon.
Yeah, and I know Mike is also teched out with E-Hammers too to cover mist synergies. It's not going to be relevant in this game, but we could see an E-Hammer come down off in the Neo Upper energy.
The Neo Upper or the Luminous.
Yeah, energies. And that just slows down Seth's setup. I know talking in our Discord with our testing group, we talked about how, Pult's typically favored into Alakazam. And you never know with those E-Hammers. They can kind of come out of nowhere. And Dragapult is one of those decks that really, really needs its turn-by-turn energy attachments to keep pace. It can afford to miss 1 or 2 turns and kind of catch up with the Neo Upper. But if that Neo Upper is prized or if you're not seeing your energies, it can really bog the deck down and really feel like it's running in mud.
Yeah. Absolutely. So Seth here is using the Brock Scouting. He looks like he's eyeing up some more basic Pokemon. He's got that Dreepy right up front, and it looks like he's debating between the Duskull and the Badoo, and he grabs the Duskull instead.
So yeah, I like that play though, just because I don't feel like Alakazam really uses its items near as much.
We were just talking about the rare candy.
Yeah, that's true, but like at the same time, you don't need rare candy on turn 2. You can go into the Kadabras, slowly build out your board. I do say that I would like see the aggressiveness from Mike. So
Oh, I think we're gonna see some aggression here from Seth getting that Ultra Ball. If you
Oh,
notice on Mike's side, there is no Psyduck in play. That Abra is looking a little vulnerable right
it's
now.
looking a little tasty. Unlike when we played our base fossil match, your Abras and Alakazams were not touched. I could not get a Venusaur out to save my life, but
Yeah, so this Dusclop's going to come down here and use that Curse Blast ability. Almost certainly we're going to see it on the Abra. Yep, knocking that out. So a 1-for-1 prize trade, but really in a board state sense, that's huge for Seth. We didn't see another Abra coming down. So Mike is going to have to play off of that. And it looks like that was just the end of the turn there. So he's leaving the Latios in the active too, which is really smart because all of his other guys on the bench are really squishy. And you don't really want to leave a Dracloak up there and start with 70 damage.
yeah, and especially with the 70 damage too, Mike could get into a stadium here and we could start seeing knockouts if there was a Duskull or a Dreepy in the active slot. There's no threat that the Latios is going to go down this turn, especially without an Abra in play, since the one that was in play got knocked out by the Dusclops. I don't hate the play from Seth. It sounds like a great play to keep up the pressure, keep up the consistency. The only thing I'm kind of worried about is that we don't see an energy drop on any of the Dracloaks. That's the biggest thing I'm worried about.
Yeah. Oh, so okay, interesting. So he did have the Psyduck, which putting that in play now. I was just about to say that maybe he prized it because we haven't seen it yet, but there it is. So no more. That other Duskull on the bench is not going to be doing anything until we get in here. And if Mike can get that Battle Cage down, that is what really puts the pressure back to Seth now, because you can't just Phantom Dive and try and knock out the Psyduck that way. You're gonna have to gust it up and hit it.
Yeah, and was it Mike? Did Mike have the Psyduck last turn? He just didn't put it down, or did he top deck it this turn?
No, he used a nest ball.
Nest ball.
So he was able to nest ball for it. So the previous turn he had the Buddy Buddy Poffin, and he prioritized Fan Rotom and Abra so he could get his Dunsparces established. And unfortunately, Seth was just able to get into everything he needed to capitalize on that.
And that's unfortunate. I hate when there's the card that you're like, man, I hope this doesn't bite me this turn, and it almost always does. It feels like.
Yeah, that's one of the age old debates. It's like, do I play to protect my bench, or do I play to value my setup? And usually you want to value your setup, but sometimes not protecting your bench is what gets you in the end.
Yeah, and I think Mike is going to be fine for the most part. If we can get that Battle Cage into play, protect those Abras, protect that Psyduck, I think then we'll be a little bit better off.
Yeah.
But it all kind of comes down to that Battle Cage, and I don't currently see it in the hand.
Even if he doesn't get it, it's not the worst, because he had a heck of a response here with getting Psyduck, 2 Abras. So what I don't like is no Dunsparces to continue the drawing, and I think that's what Mike's doing too.
Very interesting. I'm noticing in Mike's hand that he's got a Blood Moon Ursaluna EX. Is that standard in the list? I don't remember Mike playing that on Sunday when we were at the League Challenge.
I don't know. I
don't know if that's a new inclusion from him or not.
No, he had it, because when
Interesting.
we faced in the finals, he had the Blood Moon Ursaluna in his matchup.
I don't know if that's standard in Alakazam list or not, but I like the inclusion. Just gives you a big 240 beat stick at the end of the game. You know, that has 260 HP. It's not like the easiest thing to KO. I really like including that, and especially for a single attachment or no attachment, depending on the prize situation.
And that's what I was going to say. It's really nice too, because almost certainly you're going to be taking one prize at a time against Alakazam. So that just makes charging up the Blood Moon Ursaluna really easy.
Yeah, and we notice here too that Mike has got that Togepi in play, trying to get that into a Togekiss. Togekiss has that ability that lets you flip a coin, and if it's a heads, you get to take an extra prize, which can really help Alakazam fix some math on the prize race. I'll be interested to see if that comes into play at all this game. It all depends on the rare candy situation.
Yeah, and we haven't seen any yet, so we presume that there's 4 in the deck here. But Mike ending that again with no stadium, just had to pass it over to Seth, and now it's on Seth. He's used already his 2 recon directives, and so obviously what we want this turn is we want a Dragapult, and we need a Neo Upper Energy if we want to see an attack now, because we did not have an energy attachment last turn, as you mentioned.
I will say I don't remember seeing his Neo Upper Energy in the deck when he did a quick deck search earlier. I think it might be prized, but even still, I wouldn't hate seeing a Jet Headbutt for a knockout.
Yeah. I mean, definitely it takes out the Fan Rotom, but with no stadium in play and with your Latias up front, do you really want to put the Dragapult up there? And now you've turned Wonders Patch online. Like, I almost wonder if it would be better to just try and maybe get a Gust, play a Boss's Orders, try and get to that, and maybe take out that Psyduck.
Yeah, because I would definitely feel like the Fan Rotom is kind of a low value target for you at this moment, especially with Mike having 2 on his bench. It just doesn't feel great to knock it out. Unfortunately for Seth, I do think that Neo Upper Energy is prized, and I still don't see an energy in hand. We're gonna see a Night Stretcher here, and he's gonna go get that Dusclops back, and he's gonna go after either the Abra or the Togepi, and I'm assuming it's gonna be Abra.
You can't because Psyduck's in play.
Oh yeah, that's correct. I
Yeah.
didn't even see the Psyduck. We talked about it and completely forgot about it.
Yeah. So he's almost certainly saving it to get up to Dusk Noir to maybe take a knockout on the active because Psyduck only protects your bench.
Yeah.
So he could use that Dusk Noir and take out, or no, I'm sorry. I'm thinking of Battle Cage. Never mind. So keeping that Dusk Noir though, just to be safe. So when he does take a knockout on the Psyduck, he's got a 130 hit instead of just a 50.
You know, it'd be really interesting too if he can get a boss's orders maybe next turn. Maybe he can parlay a knockout into that Psyduck. Maybe Mike doesn't get a Night Stretcher back, and then the Dust Noir becomes live again.
Yeah.
I'm interested to see what he does here. It looks like he whiffed the Dragapult, but we got an energy.
Yeah, and it's scary, right? If you're Dragapult, you know that Alakazam is playing Enhanced Hammers. So you're like, I'm sure Seth is like, I really wish I would have drew one of my basic energies to put on instead of this Luminous, because the Luminous is such a huge target. And actually, it looked like the flash of the Neo Upper Energy, it might be in after all. It looked like it was right in between the Badoo and whatever he had in front.
It's hard to tell with the camera angle and the lighting.
Angle and all the bling that both of these players play.
Yeah, it's really shiny. It's kind of hard to tell. I couldn't tell based off the initial search, the first couple we saw. I couldn't really tell if he was prized or not. The way Seth is playing it almost makes me wonder if it is.
Mm-hmm.
But like I said, I'm not 100% sure. And Corey, I don't think Mike's hand is that big. I think you're correct on that. So Mike's damage output is a little bit capped. I think the Jet Headbutt may not be the worst play.
Mm-hmm. But it looks like since he missed, well, he does have an Ultra Ball in hand.
He does have an Ultra Ball, but that's a very expensive Ultra Ball.
Yeah.
It almost looks like Seth is lining up the Badoo here, trying to Itchy Pollen, maybe buy some turns, maybe not see a rare candy Alakazam this turn.
Yep, and that's exactly
slow it down. Dragapult's famous for making things go a little bit slower, taking their time, and that's exactly what we're seeing right here.
And now that Fan Rotom has 1 damage counter on it, so now it's within range of a Phantom Dive, because what Seth wants now is, yeah, sure, knock out my Badoo. So now my counter catchers are live. I can counter catcher and take 2 prizes with whatever's in the active and then that Rotom on the bench.
Yeah, I'm very interested to see here. Corey's calling out the Pogo art of the rare candy. It's not the worst rare candy art.
I don't know. I'm in Team Corey on this one. We know Mike likes it because he's got it. I'm sure if there were gold Pogo candies, he would play those.
I mean, I think arguably the best rare candy art is the Heart Gold Soul Silver era rare candy. They're expensive, unfortunately, but oh my god, they're beautiful.
I'm a gold Guardians Rising kind of guy. I love that rare candy.
As much as I love Sun and Moon and Guardians Rising, nah, it's too gaudy for me. As someone who plays all golds, it's too gaudy for me.
All right, so Mike is using that retreat. He's going into the Kadabra, so that we're not going to see an Alakazam. He's using the Ruffian to discard that Luminous energy.
And like we talked about earlier, Mike plays a lot of special energy disruption. And that's the type of plays that we're going to have to see from Alakazam in order to keep pace in this game. You're going to have to disrupt those special energies when they come down. You're going to have to get Psyduck in play. You're going to have to get Battle Cage in play. And you're going to have to force Seth to deal with these 1-prize Alakazams and take no additional prizes.
Yeah, because from Mike's side, right, he has not seen any other energies other than that Luminous, no Neo Upper energy. So Mike might be thinking the same thing, like maybe this is prize. I'm gonna go all in on this, because looking at Mike's board state, as we've seen in chat mentioned and we talked about it here, there's no Dunsparces in play. So the draw engine is very limited right now. But critically, Mike was able to get 2 Kadabras up. So even if this Kadabra goes down, he has another one on the bench in order to get into Alakazam. And that Psyduck is blocking all the Dusk Noir plays. So Mike, while on a kind of a back foot setup wise, he has really played it to his strength to make sure that he has future proofed his board state as much as possible.
You know, we got Seth here reading that Psyduck with that damp ability. You know, Psyduck has kind of been one of those cards where we've seen them similar in the past. Maybe not the exact ability effect, but they're kind of like, are these cards valuable enough to include in my 60 and take up one of my deck slots?
Mm-hmm.
We've seen Manaphy in the past. Is like, is it worth it to play Manaphy? Do I worry about my bench getting sniped? Is it worth it to play Shaman? And it's kind of one of those cards where the value and the effect is so positive for your deck, but you don't know if you quite need it. For a deck like Alakazam, it needs it in this matchup.
Yeah, absolutely. And I believe Mike is still playing the Golduck in there as well. So he's really valuing it because that Psyduck with 70 HP can be tough sometimes and easy to knock out. So putting that Golduck down makes it even beefier and keeps that same ability.
Well, and I know another reason why Mike plays the Golduck is for Dusk Bunnies. Since they play the Klefki, they'll jet the Klefki in the active slot, use Dust Noir to knock out the Psyduck because the Klefki shuts off the abilities of all basics. So from Mike's perspective, if I can evolve into Golbat, the Klefki no longer works, and that helps my prize trade into Dusk Bunnies. I don't know if it helps in this particular game. It could. I wouldn't mind seeing an evolution into Golduck if you see it. There's no reason not to, especially because I believe Mike plays a way to move his active. I think it's just the attach and then Wondrous Patch. It's not the perfect way, but it's not like you have to waste your attachment doing it.
Yeah.
So,
but Seth used that Ultra Ball to get a Dragapult and then played that Iono, which is Alakazam's worst nightmare. It's the hardest thing to fight against as the Alakazam player is that hand disruption.
And this would be the perfect deck to play the Milotic from a couple rotations ago. The one that said that you couldn't get your hand disrupted at all. I believe it rotated at the very end of Sword and Shield. I think it came out in Astral Radiance or Lost Origin, one of the two. It was popular in Tinkaton for a long time.
Yep.
It would be perfect in this deck if it didn't rotate. But unfortunately in Pokemon, we rotate every 3 years or every year.
If it was in here, that Mike would be playing that.
Oh, 100%. Sure. It'd be the perfect 1/1 deck slot.
So let's see. So off of this Iono and all these draws that Seth just had, it's still and all I'm seeing is the Luminous, and he now smartly, he puts the fire energy down. Normally, as a Dragapult player, you want to put Luminous down first, because then it doesn't matter if you get your fire or psychic later, you can just put it in there. But in a deck like this, where special energy specifically is getting targeted, you need to use that basic energy first to buy you that time.
Yeah, and talking earlier about Mike's setup and the Dunsparces, we saw the 2 Dunsparces in the fan rotom come down. It makes me wonder if Mike has prized his other 2 Dunsparces. Because typically Mike will grab as many as he can. I know at the challenge on Sunday at Heroic, you paired into Mike, and he ended up prizing 3 of his Dunsparces, so it kind of just completely nerfed his entire engine. I wonder if we're seeing something similar to that, especially with the Dawn grab of a Dunsparce. It makes me wonder if he took a knockout with that Kadabra, grabbed Dunsparce off prizes, and I got Iono to the bottom.
Yeah, that could be. And so, and Mike doesn't play things like Turo or a Penny to pick these up, so he's going to have to wait until something gets KO'd here in order to put Dunsparces back into play.
And I know Mike is a big fan of that Togepi, Togekiss line. I almost wonder if you would have valued not putting the Togepi in play for this game. It's just a bench sitter at the moment. It's not doing anything to help your game plan unless you hit Rare Candy Togekiss. And we see Mike, he's got 3 Rare Candies in his hands.
What a psychic draw that was. 3 Rare Candies.
Yeah, and I'm not quite sure how much damage he's even doing at the moment. And he doesn't even have room for Pheasantipity if this Pokemon gets knocked out, because he's going to want to prioritize those Dunsparces too. His bench is just kind of clogged at the moment.
Yeah, because he needs 11 cards in order to knock out this Latias. And it looks like it wasn't enough here because we see dice instead of moving the Pokemon to the discard. So let's see here if we can count it. It looks like 12. So he had 6 cards in hand.
It looks like Seth is getting one more die.
Okay.
I think he's right around. I was about to say, I think it's like 18 or.
So a 9-card hand is what we're seeing. Maybe now we can keep that and try and follow the hand size for the next turn.
Yeah, and if I'm Seth here, I think I want to combo this knockout with an Iono and go ahead and just take a knockout where I can. It would be nice if Seth had bench space to go Hawlucha, ping the Psyduck, and then clean it up with the Dragapult.
Yeah, it's crazy to me that Mike has not seen a battle cage yet after all of the draw that he has done and the Iono and more draw. That no battle cage is kind of shocking. And he plays 3 copies.
Let's say I wondered if he played 3 or 4 copies.
Plays 3.
But yeah, I really think if you're Seth here, you got to take as many prizes this turn as you can.
And it looks like he prioritized with the counter catcher. Makes sense because now Seth is up on prizes, so now he can knock out whoever he wants this turn.
If I'm Seth, counter catcher the Psyduck, knock out the Togepi or the Fan Rotom on the bench, take 2 prizes, go down to 3, force Mike to find a Night Stretcher, get that Psyduck back. If not, you're taking 2 more prizes.
Yep, exactly.
And honestly,
potentially more.
I'd say if he doesn't get the Psyduck back, that could be game. So
yeah, because that Fan Rotom's got 60 HP on it, so You could always save the Dust Noir, knock something like Dust Noir can knock out anything, and then you could Phantom Dive and then knock out. So yeah,
Yeah, because if I'm
prioritizing the Psyduck is a must, I think, this turn.
Yeah, because if I'm Seth, I retreat this Latias, promote the Dragapult, countercatcher up the Psyduck, knock out the Psyduck and the Togepi, since you know the Togepi might evolve next turn.
Yep.
That way you go down to 3 prizes. You still leave that Fan Rotom with 1 damage counter on it. And if Mike doesn't respond to your Dragapult, then you just have, and if Mike doesn't get his Psyduck back, you just have a Phantom Dive, knock out that 60 HP Fan Rotom, and then a Dusk Noir to take 1 additional prize, and then that's his game. And you're comboing it with that Iono, like we talked about earlier.
Yep. So this is big. Well, and interesting though is that Seth didn't use the counter catcher first, so he might just be prioritizing knocking out this Alakazam.
True.
But yeah, that's weird. You would think that you would really, really want to target down this Psyduck.
I mean, this is also one of those matchups too where Dragapult is very heavily favored, even if there's lines that we may not agree with or we may not think are correct. There's a very strong chance that Dragapult can play through it anyway.
And critically, Seth drew into that jamming tower, so even if a Battle Cage does come down next turn, he's got the Stadia Bump already in hand.
I still think if I'm Seth here, I think I still ping that Togepi and then put 1 damage counter on the Psyduck if I don't take a knockout on that Psyduck.
He puts it on the Kadabra.
Very interesting.
You have the KO already with the next Phantom Dive, and you know that Kadabra is going to be the one that attacks. So, yeah, I think I would have rather put it on the Psyduck or even the Fan Rotom to line it up. But the Psyduck is your biggest target right now.
Yeah, because I think if I'm Seth here, even if I don't counter catcher up that Psyduck, I think I still put the 1 damage counter here, because then that way that says, hey Mike, if you don't respond to this Dragapult this turn, it's gonna be a Curse Blast knocking you out.
Yep, E-Hammer comes down on that Luminous Energy, so just playing the cards while he can stop him, trying to stop him while he can. And it looks like, is that Hilda? Yep, so we got a Hilda here to get, let's see, yeah, this is turning into a scary kind of board state. The lack of Dunsparces is really making things tough for Mike here. He needs that Battle Cage, and he needs, because you can't get the attack this turn after that Iono. You can't get the KO, I should say, on the Dragapult.
And we talk about how we wish Seth would have done this, Seth would have done that. If you look at Mike's board state, I don't think Seth really has a lot to be concerned about.
That's true.
At this current point, like, yeah, okay, cool. I maybe I could have taken something that was slightly more optimal or slightly a little bit different based off our 1,000-foot bird's eye view. But at the end of the day, I'm playing against an Alakazam, which I'm favored. They don't have Dunsparces, which makes me even more favored. Oh, and by the way, they only have 1 Kadabra. I don't think Seth is really concerned at this point. And the one good thing with Seth putting that 1 damage counter on Kadabra is if Mike doesn't get into Alakazam this turn, and if Seth has boss, he could just boss it up and Jet Headbutt if he doesn't find another special energy.
True. Well, does Kadabra have 90? I thought I had 100.
I thought I had 80.
Oh, yeah, you're right. But using that enriching energy on the Fan Rotom here, so that's the sneaky way that Mike uses the energy accelerations using that Wonders patch. He gets the Battle Cage, and now this Fan Rotom can at least do a little bit of damage, which that 70 is not insignificant. Putting 70 on there means that you effectively only need 13 cards instead of 16 cards to do a knockout on Dragapult.
And crucially, too, with Mike constantly using E-Hammer and that Ruffian earlier, Seth has not been able to get up on his energy attachments this game. He's constantly been having to recycle his attacker. If Mike can take a knockout this turn on this Dragapult, which is asking for a lot, there is not a response coming back into Mike, and Mike has a boss's orders in hand.
That's good. Can he get up to, what is that, 16? He needs 16 cards in hand in order to knock out the Dragapult EX.
And we're seeing a flip the scripts. That's 3 more cards he's getting. 2, 3, 4. I can't really see.
I don't think he's got it enough with what we saw with the Iono that brought him to 4. He had a...
Looks like he's got 9, if I counted correctly.
Yeah. That makes sense. Because, I mean, you get 4 off the Iono, 4 off the enriching energy, and then 3 off flip the script. Plus all the cards he had to play to get back into it. Yeah, you're going to be short. But he did get a Dunsparce down, which is what we want to see.
Yeah, and it just looks very tough for him. He's just going to go in with that assault landing,
which is good. I mean,
he still has time though. I believe Does Seth still have that jamming tower in hand to bump that battle
Yes.
cage?
Yes, he got it off the Iono, so we can see that coming down.
And then, unfortunately for Mike, that Dunsparce has only got 60 HP, so that's going to be another smack to his draw engine.
Yeah, that's going to be tough.
And that's going to push Seth down to one prize.
And Seth does also play the Blood Moon Ursaluna, so even with the energy knocking down, if Seth can't get the energy on the Dracoloak, he can always put the energy on the Blood Moon.
Mm-hmm. This is going to be a crucial turn here. I'm very interested to see how this is going to go. There is a solid line for both players to win this game.
Yes.
I think it's very simple for Seth. It just, you punch active, knock out that Dunsparce. Say Mike can't respond to you, and if he does respond to you, then all right, cool. I still have 2 prizes for Mike left to take. I can win this game because I only have 1 to take. For Mike, there is a world too where Seth could take a knockout on this Fan Rotom, and then Mike could respond with his Blood Moon Ursaluna into that Dragapult, and Seth doesn't have a good way of knocking out a Blood Moon Ursaluna. And we know Mike plays a Jet Energy or 2 Jet Energy. I saw one earlier. He could just Jet Alakazam in the active slot and then Powerful Hand Deladia. So there's very valid lines for both players to win this game.
Yeah, but Seth has the. This is why I would have wanted to see the 1 damage or 1 damage counter on the Psyduck, because what Seth can do is take Fan Rotom. Could have taken Psyduck out. Then even if Mike takes the like Dust Noir's online.
Yeah.
So we're gonna see how he can capitalize on this, because he still can get 2 prize cards. He can knock out the Dunsparce.
Another Iono.
Just really, really making it difficult for Mike to get that damage get that hand size up so he can do big damage.
The good thing for Mike though is he hasn't been taking a lot of knockouts, so he still has 4 cards in hand, which isn't the worst. It's better than getting Iono to 1 or 2.
We got old school Dragapult now. We got the fire and the psychic energy on it.
I like Mike's board state if he can respond to this Dragapult. I would really like it if he can get it with Blood Moon Ursaluna.
Yeah, because Dragapult is 320 HP, so with the 70, he's at 250. Yeah, 250. So he only needs 13 cards in hand, which...
Oh, I think he's actually would be short with the Blood Moon Ursaluna. 240 plus 70. He'd be 10 damage short, wouldn't he?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so he can't respond with... It's got to be Alakazam. He's still not in the worst spot, though.
And Seth is deliberating. Yep, he's taking out the Dunsparce.
See, and this is where that 1 damage counter on the side would have been huge, because even if Mike responds, then it's just Dust Noir KO. So I wonder if that 1 turn is going to cause Seth some issues, but he's going down to 1 prize, so it can't be that bad.
Yeah, he needs to get plus... Oh, man. What is that? 13. He needs 13 cards in hand, so he needs a +7 draw advantage with only Pheasantipity. I don't think he can do it.
I don't think he can either, especially...
So your game plan at this point is what? It's 2 basic energies on the Dragapult, so you can't disrupt him that way. You don't have any Dunsparces down. All you get's 1 Fez draw, which looks like you just used. Or maybe that's just from last turn.
I am...
Yeah. Okay, he's using it now.
Last turn.
So using that now. So now he should be up to 8 cards in hand, which is only doing 160.
Well, and 1 less, too.
Was the gold dug down. But if he doesn't do something right now to this Dragapult, he just gets response KO'd.
I would like to know... If Alakazam's retreat's 1, I think the only thing that Mike could do is retreat into Pheasantipity and hope and pray.
Or you boss up Dusk Noir.
Yeah, and say he can't move. Yeah.
Because it's a 3 retreat cost Pokemon here. That might be his only play in order to get some Dunsparces and get a hand back again. But Mike might not have boss in hand. I don't know.
No, I could see the moon of the Cyrus Art boss's orders is in
got it. Does Mike see that play?
He's also got Counter Catcher in hand too.
Okay, even better. You can use a Counter Catcher and then use a supporter that is more beneficial, because he's going to use that Hilda to get the enriching energy. No.
My only question though is, if you bring up that Dust Noir, what all does that accomplish?
Buys you turn to get Dunsparces down, to try and get into the Dunsparce, to boss orders up the Dragapult.
Gotcha. I see what you mean now. Because I could see the trapping, but it's like you still need 4 prizes. But yeah, I think Mike plays heavy bosses orders too, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that might just be the play then. You might just have to Counter Catcher up the Dust Noir, see if Seth can move, hope he doesn't Iono you again.
Yeah, Iono, or if he has a Turo.
Yeah, and then boss up the...
But
we're seeing a Jet Energy. And a counter catcher.
Catcher.
It's
Go for that Dust Noir.
Yeah, it's got to be
the Dust Noir.
It has to be the Dust Noir. You can't bring up Dracloak because then they'll just headbutt you if they get into a Dragapult. And you can't bring up a Latias or Fez because they got free retreat. So
we've got a new follow. Thanks, NRO Geek, for the follow.
See a bench of the Dunsparce here. Does he's got another Dunsparce in hand? I don't think so. So it's just going to be an Assault Landing for 70 into this Dust Noir. Mike is holding on for dear life.
He's really, and it's tough here because he's at 4 prizes. Like, this gives Seth time to.
Ooh, there's a spicy play that Seth can do. He can attach the Neo Upper Energy to this Dust Noir. It'll live the turn, and then he can attach the Luminous and then use
Shadowbind.
That might just be the play.
But Mike does have another E-Hammer, so I almost like I get the point of the Shadowbind.
But you got to put the pressure on. At least say, I can do this.
Yep,
and if you're Seth, if Mike bosses up the Dragapult, then you have game with the Neo Upper Energy attachment. I think this might be checkmate, actually. Unless Mike can find an E-Hammer this turn for that Luminous Energy. But I don't know if Mike is going to see the Neo Upper threat.
Yeah.
Shadowbind is not really an attack we see outside of GLC. It's really only meant for GLC, but it is relevant right now.
Yes, very much so. And so Mike used the Dunsparce and puts 2 more Dunsparces in play to follow this up.
And I can already see Mike eyeing up this boss's orders.
Yeah, because I mean, you need to go after this Dragapult. But it's scary because with that Neo Upper, even if he doesn't even put it on the Dust Noir, even if he does get the E-Hammer, he just needs the Dragapult.
Yeah.
He's got the Neo Upper. So I do think that
I think Seth just has it. I think this is just checkmate. I'm hoping to God that he uses Shadowbind. I want to see it so bad. We see this is a very rare move here. We don't typically see Shadowbind coming down.
All right.
It looks like he did go with the Assault Landing into this Dust Noir.
Just hitting it again.
Drop return.
Is he going to Shadowbind?
We see the attachment of the Psychic Energy.
Maybe Seth didn't see the line of hitting an E. Oh, no.
Hammers.
Oh my goodness gracious. Okay, so I mean the line is still the same because once this Dust Noir goes down, he just.
I am going to have to ask Seth after this match, be like, bro, why didn't you just Shadowbind? You could have attached the Neo Upper Energy.
He still could. He still could. You get the Psychic Energy on. So if he bosses the Dragapult, he's bossing the Fez. Is he really? Maybe just trying to like, hey, maybe you're out of energy at this point.
Yeah, maybe.
But yeah, now he sees it. All right, fine. I'll put the Neo Upper on the Pheasantipity. I'll retreat and then I'll Phantom Dive that way. Won't let me do the fun plays. I'll do it this way then.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, that was interesting to say the least.
That was some back and forth for sure.
Yeah, that was very, very interesting to say the least. I find it very interesting that Seth could have won a different way here. And it looks like, unfortunately, we're having some issues with our face cam, so we can't cut to us like we usually do. But yeah, that was just kind of interesting to see because, you don't expect the rare Shadowbind play, and I was hoping it was going to come down. It just didn't materialize. I guess Seth just didn't see it.
Nope, but he had the play. Like he knew he was going to be able to get that knockout. If it wasn't with the Dust Noir, he could have done it a turn earlier, but he felt safe. He's like, I don't need to. Like, either you beat the Dust Noir or you knock something out so I can get this Dragapult into play. But by not doing that, Mike's trying to be cheeky and say, hey, I'll just bring up the Pheasantipity then. And then Seth's like, all right, fine. I'll put the Neo Upper on G retreat so I can hit you with Dragapult. I get the KO.
Yeah, and that was great gameplay by both players. I really liked what Mike was trying to do to try to buy time. I think there was a line for him to win that game. I know it's a very, very tough matchup for his deck and for Alakazam in general into this matchup. So I was proud of how he played. I really thought there was a solid chance he could win that game. Seth just happened to have it, and the Ionos back to back to back was just a lot.
Yeah, I mean that is Alakazam's greatest weakness in this game right now. Something that will almost certainly strengthen Alakazam in a few months' time is once rotation happens, then Iono goes away. It's the only disruption is Judge. Players are going to be maybe less likely to use Judge, and that will let Alakazam become stronger.
Yeah. Well, Usually we would cut to our faces after this matchup, so that way you guys can see our big, bright, beautiful faces, and we can talk to you about the decks and how everything went. But unfortunately, we're having a little bit of trouble with technical side of things. This is back-to-back weeks. We have technical
Yeah,
issues.
we'll fix it on the bumper.
But if you need singles, if you need sealed product, head over to Impact Gaming Center where you can find both of those for the Pokemon TCG, Magic, or Yu-Gi-Oh! Whatever you like to play, Impact Gaming Center has it for you on in-store and online. We have round 2 coming up to you here in a little bit. We're going to try to work on our technical issues on the back end. So that way next round, after everything's over, you can see our faces and we'll be good to go. So we will cut to you guys here in a minute. We hope you have a great time hanging out with us here tonight online. Have a good one. We'll see you in a second.